No intro, no fluff, live stream today. Y'all need to leave Travis Hunter alone, bro. And I'm talking about y'all. When I say y'all, I'm talking about guys that are men and women that are my age, exennials, elder millennials, 40-ish in that age range. Um, y'all need to leave this kid alone. So that's what I got. This is gonna be a short episode. We're gonna condense the nonsense because I gotta go get my grown man on and pick my kids up from school today. Um, so I'm gonna roll the intro and get back to y'all. So what I'm saying is, y'all gotta chill with this gossip shit about Travis Hunter and his girlfriend. We talking about a 21-year-old kid, 23-year-old girl, fiance. They're engaged, and I think what we're getting a lot of is, I know initially when she did something, and the first thing that really kind of popped on my radar about it was, and it's one of my favorite comedians. Godfrey's one of my favorite comedians, but first thing that popped on my radio was him basically like, "Hey man, you got to get a prenup," and joke or whatnot, based on how some story that this young lady told about them meeting, or he told about them meeting, or whatever. And basically, Travis is like, "Hey man, mind your own business," which he reserves the right to, because the reality is this: them kids been together since high school. Um, they kind of have an idea of how each other operates. Travis does have looks like he has a pretty solid support system around him, um, and they're helping him kind of navigate this fame of being the most prominent young athlete in football. And I feel like what we're getting is, there's this weird thing that older folks do where we inject our bitterness and cynicism into kids, and then we expect that that is a productive act in and of itself. Follow my thinking. So, when I was in college, um, I'd been working at the college radio station for about 3 years. I've been kind of in the station management team for two, and I had known, that in that role, contact record labels. It was really doing a lot of real stuff that people were at the time were doing in radio, but it was on a volunteer basis. But I was still part of the management team, and we had sent demo tapes out to other radio stations around the country to see if we, could get a couple of bites, and we got a couple of bites to do it professionally. And so I go home and I make the decision, like, I'm gonna tell my mom that I'm gonna go pursue this dream, um, and I was gonna essentially drop out of school at the time, drop out of college at the time, and go see what I could do to make things work, and chase this down. And my mom and an older cousin staged an intervention on me, and I still love both of them. And I'm not blaming anybody for anything, but that was kind of an example of taking, that adult bias where you've gone out and gotten hurt by the world, and injecting that into kids' hopes and dreams and aspirations. Um, I think what's happening is we're seeing this big, huge media backlash, and we saw it. It is what happened with Simone Biles when when a lot of women online decided that they didn't like her husband for an interview that he did, and they have been essentially bullying, trying to do online bullying. Um, because that's kind of what it is, especially when Simone comes out and says, "I don't like how you guys are talking about my husband. Please stop." And people are like, "Nah, no, we're not going to." It's the entire Simone Biles thing, except now it's happening to Travis Hunter. A bunch of dudes my age have decided that they don't like this girl, and they're going to report anything, any transgression, anything. And now people are going into her history and all this other stuff. And it's really fucking ridiculous. Like, it's reached a ridiculous point, and it's a bunch of adult men doing this, which makes it even worse. Like, men that have mortgages and children and stuff like that, and it's done under the guise of, well, we're showing concern and whatnot. But it's really not. It's concern trolling. It's, you're using your concern to troll this girl. That's what it is. Y'all did it with Simone, women did it with Simone Biles. Now dudes are doing it. And I don't want to get into all the generalizations, because there's a mix of both. There are dudes that were into the Simone Biles thing, and there are women that are doing the same thing with Travis and his girl. It's kind of ridiculous. And some of y'all are too old to be doing this. Let's just keep it honest. Like, this is celebrity gossip. And I know people actively participate in this celebrity gossip stuff. I'm not casting judgment there, but we're acting like it's an important conversation that needs to be had, or that Travis Hunter and his fiance are going to derive some benefit from y'all sitting online talking about, oh, she said that she did this, but we dug a little. Stop. Just stop. You too grown to be doing this. Like, I'm about to go pick my kids up from school. Don't you have kids to pick up from school? Don't you have bills to pay? Don't you have anything else better to do than to jump online and act like your ambivalence about this girl and him marrying her is going to make a difference in the decision that he makes with his life forever? You don't have any say in that. All you're doing is offering commentary, and that's fine, but let's not act like the act of offering commentary is important or vital or valuable, or that's something that he should respect. It's a bunch of grown dudes gossiping. Like, this is on the level of, the Swifties not liking Travis Kelce. That's kind of where it's at. Or all the stuff about the Meghan Markle and Prince Henry and stuff. And we're acting like these are serious conversations. You have serious, strong concerns about it. But really it's, we don't like her, and so we are going to all ride against her. And it's kind of a ridiculous thing. Y'all are too grown. Y'all too old. And the other side is, the young lady's come out and said this is creating a lot of stress in her life and blah, blah, blah. And the response is, well, she needs to get offline. She needs to not be as connected. And I think one thing that we need to express is, and I know this from running diversion programs, but this also comes from actually working with kids. For us, the online space isn't real as much. And I'm talking about kind of a generational divide. If you grew up and had a social life before there was online and chat rooms and social media and stuff, and that stuff came online while you were still in your adolescence heading into young adulthood, you can separate online world from real world. And those things, that actually is a thing where, this thing is real and this thing is not. Maybe it's like the dividing line. If you're old enough to see The Matrix in theaters, you kind of have a grasp on the real world and the idealized Matrix kind of world. For kids that grew up in this shit, that grew up with social media, and it's always been a thing, there is no real separation between what happens online and what happens in the real world. They interact with their friends online. They have serious, deep, earnest conversations with people that are in their peer group online. A lot of this stuff takes place online. They interact with their friends on video games, logging on to play games and stuff like that. And so the online world is really, really real to people that are in that kind of age cohort. And yeah, it would probably be really creating anxiety and stuff like that for somebody of that age to be dogpiled on by a bunch of adult men who should know better. I'm saying all this. I'm trying to keep it light, y'all. I'm trying to keep it light. Here's what I'm gonna say, and this is my final word because I got to go pick my kids up from school. Um, y'all are too old for this, and I think a lot of the discourse around, Travis Hunter is taking on an air of fake um, importance. It's not necessarily important. It's not helpful. You're not helping this young man. You're not helping this young couple um, by scrutinizing everything that this young lady does. You don't like her and you want them to break up. And that's the same reason why the Swifties don't like Travis Kelce, some of them. It's the same reason why the Beehive doesn't like Jay-Z, amongst other reasons. Um, it's the same reason why Nicki Minaj is what the Barbs are the way they are with every other female rapper that comes along. Um, and we're trying to say it's not because it's primarily a bunch of dudes that are masculine men watching sports. And so we're trying to say that it's not the same thing, but it is the same thing. It looks exactly the same. Y'all are doing the same shit, and y'all are pretending that you're not, but you really are. Um, and it's sad to see somebody that's 44 who with kids in high school and college uh, online typing paragraphs about why Travis Hunter needs to break up with his fiance because you don't like him. That's that as a parasocial relationship. You don't know these people in real life. You don't know them. They don't know you. Your opinion doesn't matter to them, and you need to understand it. And to try to dress this up under this era of, this era of, well, this is an important conversation that needs to happen. No, it is not. It's not an important conversation. It's gossip. It's online gossip, and that's cool. If you like to do online gossip, then not knock yourself out. But let's not dress it up as something it's not. So leave these kids alone. Let them cook. Let them do their own thing. Let them make their own mistakes. If they're not right for each other, they'll find out one way or another. But you aren't really necessarily helping them. Just like all the people that were dogpiling Simone Biles' husband weren't helping their relationship. You're not helping anybody. And that's really what it is. This is the old bitter aunt or uncle who scares off um, any kind of uh, boyfriend or girlfriend that the kid has because they are bitter and hurt. And that's where they're speaking out of, is their bitterness and hurt and disappointment. And they think that they're helping the kid out, but all they're doing is trying to inject their hopelessness into their lives. Knock it off. Grow up. Talk to y'all later. I gotta go pick up my kids. Peace.